common knowledge that vegetables are a part of a healthy diet. In fact, when we were growing up as kids, our parents probably harped on us to eat our vegetables so that we could grow up big and strong. More recently, scientists have conducted studies that show that cruciferous vegetables in particular may even help to prevent cancer. So I guess what that proves is that Mom was right all along. What a lot of folks, including moms, don't realize is that the sprouted version of your vegetable contains much more nutritionally dense goodness than the full sprouted vegetable. So for instance, according to Livestrong.com, a small handful of sprouted broccoli has up to 50 times more phytonutrients than a full head of broccoli. So what I'm going to show you today is how to grow your own sprouts in your kitchen. And to get started, it's a super easy process. To get started, you'll need a couple things. First, you'll need your seeds. What I have here are watercress seeds. These are organic. And I also have a small jar of lentils. So the sprouting seeds, I got these at the local health food store. You could also get them at a store like Whole Foods, or probably the easiest thing to do would be to go to Amazon.com and search for organic sprouting seeds. I do suggest that you choose organic because you're going to be eating these in the raw form. It's only $1 or $2 more. It's totally worth it to take care of yourself. The other option would be to just go to your regular grocery store. You could pick up a bag of dried seeds like lentils. These just came in a little 1 to 2 pound plastic bag, and I poured about a half a cup in this jar, and these sprout really well, really easily as well. The second thing you'll want is some type of tool, some type of place to grow your sprouts. What I have here, I think it's called Victorio is the brand, but it's a sprouting tray. And so there are a series of trays and a reservoir on the bottom, and you spread your seeds on each level of the trays, and that'll help the water to distribute evenly, and it'll just make the whole process easier. You could sprout seeds just in a Pyrex pan, but you would need to soak the seeds, drain the seeds, come back, soak them again. It's just a little more complex. This makes it super easy. So once you have your tools in place, you can move on to seed preparation. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and separate my trays. Now this is the reservoir, so we won't need that right now. But we've got our 2 trays, and I'm going to use the small seeds. And before I show you this, I want to show you with the lentils, there's a little bit more prep involved. So with lentils, because it's such a large seed, you do want to soak them for a bit beforehand. So as I mentioned earlier, it's about a half a cup in here. Just fill it up to the top of the mason jar with water and leave it on your counter overnight. And then the next morning, they're going to be ready for you to sprout. So with a large seed like this, you just grab a few in your hand and spread it out throughout the tray. You don't want to put too many. Do leave some space in between the seeds. With smaller seeds, you don't need to pre-soak these. You're just going to measure them out into each tray. So I've got a teaspoon here, and I'm going to grab 1 teaspoon and then just spread it around the bottom of the tray. Try to get it evenly spread, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Just so that it's kind of worked throughout, that covers the bottom of the tray. Okay. Once you have your seeds in place, you're going to stack these on top of your reservoir. And then we're going to water our seeds. So now this bottom reservoir holds 2 cups of water, so you do want to measure how much water you're going to pour into the sprouting tray. So here I have 2 cups, and you'll just slowly pour it into your top tray. And the nice thing about these trays are that along the perimeter there are small holes that are drilled into the bottom of the tray. So the water will slowly drip from this top tray down into the next tray and eventually into the reservoir. And it'll take 15 to 20 minutes to work its way through. But because there's this slow distribution, this slow movement, each layer will have plenty of time to get a nice big drink of water. Once this has completely moved through, you can go ahead and empty the tray and rotate them out. So you will want to water your seeds twice a day. I usually do it in the morning and then again in the evening. And you do want to rotate them. So you'll pour the water in the top. When you come home at night, all of the water will be in the reservoir. You'll empty out the reservoir And then take your bottom tray and move it to the top. So every time you water it, just move your bottom tray to the top, and that'll allow for even distribution of the seeds, and they'll grow a little more evenly that way. So after 3 days, 2 to 3 days, you'll start to have sprouts, and after 5 days, they're going to be ready to harvest. And your sprouts will look something like this here. So you'll see that it's just a nice little garden, kind of like grass. Initially, they won't have a ton of color. They'll just be kind of like a whitish, grayish color. But what you'll do is just place them in a sunny area on the counter next to a window for a day or a few hours, and photosynthesis will do its job, and you'll have nice green sprouts. And so once you've greened up your sprouts, you are then going to prepare them for storage and for eating. So here I have a container of water, and what we're going to try to do, and hopefully you can see this, is down at the bottom, all of the seed holes are still sort of within this root system of the sprouts. And so if you put them in some water and just kind of gently stir them around, those seed holes will start to break off of the sprout. Now you can eat those. There's nothing wrong with eating them. They're just not as visually appealing. So if you can remove a few, that'll be great. But just get as many off as you can. And then once you've soaked them, it's time to store them. So the way I would store them is, I have a Pyrex here. And in the Pyrex, I've layered a couple of dry paper towels. And I'm just going to take my sprouts and drip dry them just a little bit. Remove any extra moisture. And then we can place them in our storage container with the paper towels. And these are good to go. You'll just seal them and place them in the refrigerator, and they will keep for, I'd say, about a week. Now, you can eat the sprouts by themselves. Just grab a little handful and, essentially consume a head of broccoli in a couple bites. Or you can throw them on sandwiches, you can throw them in salads. This is a great way to easily grow a nutritionally dense food and incorporate that into your diet. Hippocrates said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food." And science has weighed in, and sprouts are some of the healthiest vegetables that we can consume as human beings. And in the time it takes you to pour yourself a cup of coffee in the morning, you can maintain your little nutrient garden and improve your health. So go ahead and start sprouting and let your healthy life begin.